Dolphins fans, we are sponsored by RexMD. If you want to hear more about the best deal they've ever offered, stay tuned. We're going to talk about it later on today's show. And today's show going to be about some running back rumors, but we're not going to start talking about Dalvin Cook, which is interesting. So stay tuned. Be sure to subscribe, turn your notifications. Look, the Dolphins might make a move here pretty soon. You're hearing a lot about Dalvin Cook, some other guys that could get traded. So be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications, because if you turn on your notifications, you are going to get an alert on your phone whenever we go live. People make fun of me because I have an iPhone mini, and they don't sell them anymore, which is very unfortunate. But be sure to turn on your notifications. You'll get an alert on your phone whenever we go live, whenever we put out a video. It's the best way to stay in the loop with all things Dolphins. Let's talk about Josh Jacobs. Should the Dolphins trade for Raiders running back Josh Jacobs? He has been in some trade rumors because he held out of Raiders minicamp looking for a new contract. He was placed on the franchise tag in March. He is set to earn $10.1 million. He wants a long-term deal. That is why he is holding out. And this comes after the best season of his career, where he led the NFL in rushing yards. In those first 3 seasons, I think we're all kind of waiting for Josh Jacobs to explode. It finally happened in year 4, which was last year in 2022. 340 carries, over 1,600 yards, 4.9 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns last season for Josh Jacobs in a contract year. There's been some trade buzz recently. There wasn't a whole lot of trade buzz right after he was placed on the tag, but after minicamp, after he held out, there has been a lot of speculation that Josh Jacobs could get traded. My take is if the Dolphins maybe can't get something done with Dalvin Cook, and right now there is a gap between what Dalvin Cook wants and what the Dolphins are willing to pay him, then they could potentially pivot to a guy like Josh Jacobs. Maybe Saquon Barkley could be in that conversation as well. But if Chris Grier is determined to get something done at the running back position to improve that room, then maybe they could pivot to Josh Jacobs, who has familiarity with Tua Tagovailoa. They played together at the University of Alabama, and I've been very high on Jacobs since the start of this offseason. He's kind of been my dream running back target. Very possible that he could get traded if the Raiders do not give him a new contract. Maybe the Dolphins can get involved. Pick one to add, I should say. You wouldn't be trading for Dalvin Cook. You'd be signing him in free agency. But pick one to add. Josh Jacobs or Dalvin Cook. Type J for Jacobs or D for Dalvin Cook down in the comment section. Who would you rather have on this Dolphins football team? SB Nation mentioned the Dolphins as one of the trade destinations for Josh Jacobs. Here is what they said about the fit. The Dolphins are coming off a playoff appearance, and their offense could use a back like Jacobs. Head coach Mike McDaniel was once Kyle Shanahan's run game coordinator in San Francisco, and Jacobs could be hard to stop in that scheme. Cap-wise, the money would be tight, but they could structure the deal so it fits in their budget. Before we get into more about Jacobs, I have a question for all the fellas out there. Do you sometimes lack confidence in the bedroom? Do you wish you could have a more fulfilling sex life? Well, you're not alone. That's why we're excited to tell you about RexMD, the online source for men's wellness. RexMD offers an easy and discreet way to get the medication you need for ED without having to visit a doctor's office. With just a few clicks, you can have your medication delivered straight to your door and at a fraction of the cost of traditional pharmacies. RexMD's team of licensed physicians will work with you to find the right treatment plan, and their medication is made in the USA, so you can trust its quality. Plus, their customer support team is available 24/7 to answer any questions or concerns you may have. So if you're ready to take control of your sex life and say goodbye to ED, head on over to rexmd.com/chat to start your consultation today. Take advantage of their best deal they've ever offered and save up to 90% off. I repeat, 90% off. That is not a typo. Only pay $2 per dosage, but you got to go to rexmd.com/chat to get that 90% off. For this limited time deal, starter packs of generic Viagra or Cialis are now available to get started. So again, rexmd.com/chat. That link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Like I said earlier, I've always been very high on Josh Jacobs. And how am I going to prove that to y'all? Well, remember my perfect offseason video that I did back in January? You want to know one of the things I said? Get Josh Jacobs on this football team. And apparently, even after receiving the franchise tag, that could still be possible. You could have Jacobs and Tua back together again. This would be awesome. And look, Dalvin Cook would be great. I would love Dalvin Cook too, obviously. But Josh Jacobs has been kind of my dream target. Derrick Henry's been up there as well. I don't think he's going to get moved, though. I think Josh Jacobs more realistic. He gets traded. But, man, you got to know that Tua would be pretty excited about that if you're able to trade for Josh Jacobs. Now, what would it take to trade for Jacobs? I don't think it would take a first-round pick. What do you think, Producer Coop? Maybe a third? Third would be enough? Maybe a third and a player? Just send Jeff Wilson back out west? I don't know. But very possible that Josh Jacobs could be moved if he doesn't get a new contract. Something to monitor here over the next couple of weeks leading up to camp. Got the draft on Thursday, NBA draft. We're very excited about it at Chat Sports. And I know a lot of y'all watched our NFL draft coverage. Well, our NBA draft coverage is just as good. No commercials, right? You turn on ESPN. Remember when Nikola Jokic got drafted during a Taco Bell commercial? We're not going to have any commercials here on Chat Sports. So be sure to subscribe to our main channel, youtube.com/chatsportstv. I am going to be heavily involved in that coverage. Going to be talking about the Miami Heat. They got the 18th overall pick. Are they going to trade the pick? I don't know. We might have to find out on draft night. That sublink to subscribe to our Chat Sports main channel is in the comments and the description of today's video. Join us for our draft coverage beginning on Thursday night. Let's talk about Dalvin Cook now. You know we had to talk about Dalvin Cook. We're talking about running backs. CBS Sports projected Dalvin Cook to the Dolphins on a 2-year, $21 million contract for the former Minnesota Viking. That's around what he wants. A little bit steep, giving him north of $10 million per year. He apparently wants something in the $10 million per year range, but no offers that he's got has exceeded $6 million. So there's a big gap right now between what teams are offering Cook and what he wants. He wants about $10 million, which is that contract that CBS Sports put together. That would make him easily a top 10 highest paid running back in the league. I think that when you look at, a guy like Dalvin at this point in his career, I think maybe $8 or $9 million is fair. Maybe 3 years, $24 million, something like that. I think I'd rather give him a 2-year deal than a 3-year deal. I do think it's going to take a multi-year deal to get Dalvin Cook to Miami, or you could have him sign a 1-year, $11 million contract, something like that, kind of give him a big signing bonus to lower that cap hit. But those are the top 10 highest backs right now. You had Pollard, Saquon, and Jacobs all get tagged, so that number is at a little bit north of $10 million. How much would you pay Dalvin Cook? Let me know down in the comments section. If it's a 2-year deal, I think maybe 2 years, $18 million makes some sense. If it's a 1-year deal, then maybe 1 year, $10 or $11 million, that might make sense. It really depends on if Dalvin Cook is willing to take a little bit of a pay cut to play in Miami, because the Dolphins have a pretty good running back room. There's no reason to overpay Dalvin Cook, but I think Dalvin Cook wants to be a Dolphin. I think there's mutual interest there as well. Fansided put out an article about 4 unsung heroes on the Dolphins in 2003. Which veterans could emerge as kind of unsung heroes on this football team? So let's get to that list here from Fansided, starting with Andrew Van Ginkel. I would tend to agree. I think AVG can play a really big role in this football team. I think he's one of the more underrated Dolphins, and he might be playing some inside linebacker this year. So that could be interesting to see how he can contribute in that role. I really like this name as well. Robert Jones, kind of an unsung hero last year. Didn't get enough credit for the job he did at left guard last year for the Dolphins when he was filling in for Liam Eichenberg when Liam was out. And quite frankly, he was much better than Liam Eichenberg. It really wasn't close. I think Jones should have remained the starter even when Liam got back. Let's take a look at the numbers here. Liam got 3 more starts than Robert Jones. Jones started 7 games. Liam took more snaps, obviously, because he started more games. Look at the overall PFF grade. 62 compared to 39.8. Pass blocking grade, 65 compared to 39.6. Run blocking grade, far better as well. Robert Jones was the better player last year, and I would not be shocked to see him be the starting left guard for most of the season for the Dolphins. And quite frankly, I'm fine with him being the starting left guard. I know I've said sign Dalton Risner. I know I've said bring in a left guard, draft a left guard, you name it. But Robert Jones did a serviceable job in that position. Jeff Wilson Jr., their next name here. Very possible he's not on this football team. I do not expect him to be on this football team if the Dolphins were to add Dalvin Cook. But let's say he does remain on this football team and emerges as maybe RB1, dare I say. I think we're forgetting that Jeff Wilson is actually a pretty good back. The Dolphins just have some other guys that can contribute as well. But I would agree, he can be a guy that can be a pleasant surprise this season if he stays on this football team, which he will stay on this football team if the Dolphins do not add Dalvin Cook. Raekwon Davis, the last name they mention here, going to be the starting nose tackle this year. Could be a breakout candidate. I could see him having the best season of his career in a contract year. Who could be an unsung hero on the Dolphins this year? Let me know down in the comment section. I'll throw a name at you as well, Zach Sealer. I think he's the most underrated player on this team and could have a massive year.